Kids Zone Quest. Please like and subscribe if you like the
Deep
content.
in the heart of the whispering forest, beyond the mossy trees and shimmering streams, lay the Invisible Zoo, a magical sanctuary where extraordinary animals lived. From sapphire-scaled dragons to rainbow-feathered parrots, the zoo was home to creatures that couldn't be found anywhere else. But there was one catch: only children who truly believed in magic could see it. One summer, siblings Mia and Leo moved to a small village near the forest. Mia, the older sister, loved to draw magical creatures, while Leo, her little brother, was endlessly curious about the world. The villagers often told stories about the Invisible Zoo, but most adults laughed it off as a fairy tale. Mia and Leo, however, felt a spark of excitement every time they heard the stories. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, a tiny firefly-like creature buzzed into their room. "I'm Lumo," it said, its voice like a tiny bell. "The Invisible Zoo needs your help. The animals are disappearing, and we don't know why." Mia and Leo followed Lumo deep into the whispering forest. As they stepped into a clearing, the Invisible Zoo revealed itself. Glowing gates opened to a world of wonder. Unicorns grazed in golden fields, a shimmering phoenix soared above, and tiny winged elephants splashed in crystal pools. The siblings' eyes widened with awe. "But where are the others?" Mia asked, noticing empty enclosures. "That's the problem," said Z, a talking cheetah with emerald green spots. "When children stop believing, the animals fade away. And now, even the most magical creatures are vanishing. We need to bring back belief." Mia and Leo had an idea. "What if we ask kids from all over the world to help?" Leo suggested. Lumo nodded. "But they must truly believe, or the magic won't work." The siblings sent magical messages carried by glowing butterflies to children everywhere. The message read, "The Invisible Zoo needs your belief. Imagine a world where magic exists, and you'll see it too." Soon, kids from every corner of the globe began to arrive, each bringing their own unique perspective and belief in magic. As more children entered the Invisible Zoo, the magic began to return. Maya from India taught everyone a belief dance that made the stars twinkle brighter. Aiko from Japan shared stories of mythical creatures like the Kirin, inspiring new animal sightings. Mateo from Mexico played a flute that brought back the songs of the enchanted birds. But the zoo's heart, the luminary tree, still glowed dimly. "There's one more thing we need," said Zoo. "Pure, unshakable belief." Mia had an idea. "Let's all imagine the most magical animal we can." Each child closed their eyes and imagined. A swirl of colors filled the air as their thoughts took shape. Out of the light emerged a magnificent creature, part lion, part butterfly, with shimmering wings that sparkled like diamonds. It let out a powerful roar that echoed across the zoo. The luminary tree burst into vibrant light, spreading magic throughout the zoo. The missing animals reappeared, and the Invisible Zoo was alive once more. Before the children left, they gave each of them a small crystal. "This will remind you that magic exists as long as you believe." Back in their village, Mia and Leo continued to draw and share stories of the Invisible Zoo. Their drawings inspired other children to believe, keeping the magic alive. And so, the Invisible Zoo thrived, a testament to the power of imagination, inclusion, and the unshakable belief in the extraordinary.
Rainbowland was a magical place where every corner shimmered with vibrant colors. The trees sparkled with shades of green and gold, rivers glistened in hues of blue and silver, and even the clouds wore pastel pinks and purples. At the heart of Rainbowland stood the Rainbow Fountain, a mystical source of all the colors in the land. One sunny morning, the unthinkable happened. The rainbow fountain stopped flowing. Slowly, The colors of Rainbow Land began to fade, leaving everything dull and gray. Flowers drooped, the rivers grew still, and the skies turned a somber shade of white. The Color Keeper, a wise and gentle chameleon named Kiko, called for an emergency meeting. The color crystals that power the rainbow fountain have disappeared. Kiko explained to the gathered citizens. Without them, our world will lose its magic. We must find the crystals and restore the colors to Rainbow Land. From the crowd, 3 brave friends stepped forward to help. Lila, a curious and clever fox, Benny, a cheerful but clumsy bear, and Zara, a tiny but determined hummingbird. We'll find the crystals and save Rainbow Land, they declared. Kiko handed them a glowing map that revealed the locations of the missing color crystals. Each crystal was hidden in a different part of Rainbow Land, protected by magical challenges. The trio set off on their adventure, determined to bring back the colors. Their first stop was the Volcano of Courage, where the red crystal was hidden. To retrieve it, they had to cross a bridge made of lava stones. The stones only appeared when someone truly believed in themselves. Lila led the way, encouraging Benny and Zara to trust in their abilities. Together, they crossed the bridge and claimed the red crystal. Next, they arrived at the Lake of Reflection, where the blue crystal lay at the bottom of the shimmering water. To reach it, they had to solve riddles posed by the lake's guardian, a wise old turtle named Tycho. By working together and combining their unique strengths, they answered the riddles and retrieved the blue crystal. The final crystal, the yellow crystal, was hidden in the endless sunflower fields. The flowers created a maze that shifted with the wind. Zara's keen sense of direction and her ability to fly high above the maze helped the group find their way. They reached the center of the field and found the yellow crystal glowing brightly. With all 3 crystals in hand, the friends returned to the rainbow fountain. Kiko carefully placed each crystal into its rightful spot. As soon as the last crystal was set, the fountain roared to life, spraying streams of radiant colors into the sky. The colors flowed back into Rainbow Land, bringing the trees, rivers, and skies back to life. The citizens of Rainbow Land cheered and celebrated the return of their vibrant home. Lila, Benny, and Zara were hailed as heroes, and Kiko thanked them for their bravery and teamwork. Remember, Kiko said, just like the colors of a rainbow, we're strongest when we come together. From that day on, the trio's adventure became a cherished story in Rainbow Land, reminding everyone that even in the darkest times, teamwork and courage can restore the brightest colors.
Once upon a time, in a small, quiet village nestled between rolling green hills, there lived a brother and sister named Rohan and Mira. They were kind-hearted and hardworking but had been struggling for as long as they could remember. Their parents had passed away, leaving them to fend for themselves. They lived in a tiny, crumbling hut and barely had enough to eat. Every morning, Rohan would go into the forest to gather firewood to sell, while Mira would collect berries and wild herbs to trade in the village market. Despite their efforts, they often went to bed hungry. One particularly harsh winter, the forest seemed barren, and the market was empty. Their situation grew dire. One evening, as they sat by their small fire, sharing a single piece of stale bread, Mira looked at her brother with tears in her eyes. "Rohan, we can't go on like this. We need a miracle." Rohan sighed and looked up at the starry sky. "Perhaps, Mira. But miracles don't just happen. We have to keep trying." The next day, Rohan ventured deeper into the forest than ever before, desperate to find something, anything, they could use or sell. As he chopped wood near an ancient oak tree, he heard a faint, melodic humming. Curious, he followed the sound until he came upon a tiny, shimmering creature trapped under a fallen branch. It was a fairy, no taller than his hand, with wings that sparkled like diamonds. "Please help me," the fairy pleaded. "I'm too weak to free myself." Without hesitation, Rohan lifted the branch and carefully set the fairy free. She fluttered her wings and hovered before him. "Thank you, kind boy. You have saved me. In return, I shall grant you one wish." Rohan's heart raced. He thought of his sister and their struggles. "I wish for a way to take care of my sister and never go hungry again." The fairy smiled. "A noble wish. I shall grant it in a way that will last a lifetime. Look for a hollow tree in this forest with golden leaves. Inside, you will find something special." With that, the fairy disappeared in a burst of light. Rohan hurried to find the tree. After hours of searching, he stumbled upon a magnificent oak with leaves that glowed like the sun. Inside the hollow, he discovered a small, golden egg. When he touched it, the egg cracked open, revealing a tiny, magical goose. The goose hunked softly and waddled toward him. When Rohan returned home with the goose, Mira was astonished. "A goose? How will this help us, Rohan?" she asked. "I'm not sure," Rohan admitted. But as he placed the goose on the ground, it shook its feathers and laid a golden egg. Mira gasped. "Rohan! This is incredible. We can sell this and buy food." The siblings sold the golden egg in the market the next day. They used the money to buy warm clothes, food, and tools. Every day, the goose laid another golden egg, and their lives transformed. They repaired their hut, expanded their land, and started a farm. As time passed, their farm grew into a prosperous estate. They became known as the kindest and most generous people in the village. Rohan and Mira never forgot their humble beginnings or the fairy who had granted them a miracle. They used their wealth to help others in need, ensuring that no one in their village would ever go hungry again. And so, Rohan, Mira, and their magical goose lived happily ever after, spreading kindness and hope wherever they went. In the heart of the Whispering Woods, there lived a curious tubby cat named Whiskers. Whiskers had a coat as orange as the setting sun and a nose that twitched at the faintest scent of adventure. One warm summer evening, as the fireflies danced in the twilight, Whiskers gathered his closest friends for a secret meeting under the great oak. His friends were no ordinary animals. There was Benny the brave bunny, whose floppy ears could hear danger from miles away. Next was Penny the clever panda, who had traveled all the way from a bamboo forest to learn the secrets of the world. Then there was Sammy the singing sparrow, whose melodies could calm even the fiercest storms. And finally, Ella the playful elephant, who always carried a magical map tucked safely in her tiny satchel. Whiskers stood tall on a mossy rock and declared, "Friends, the moon is full tonight, and the stars have whispered of a treasure hidden deep within the misty mountains. They say it can grant a single wish to those who find it." The group cheered with excitement, and so their moonlit quest began. The journey was no easy feat. The first challenge came when they reached the rushing river, its waters wild and foamy under the moonlight. Penny the panda thought quickly. "I read about a way to cross rivers. We can use the fallen logs and vines to make a bridge." With Ella's strength and Sammy's songs keeping them calm, the friends built a sturdy bridge and crossed safely. Next, they ventured into the echoing caves, where shadows danced on the walls. Suddenly, a low growl echoed through the cavern. Benny's ears perked up. "Something's coming," he warned. Out of the shadows stepped a grumpy but tiny hedgehog named Harold. "Who dares disturb my peace?" he huffed. Whiskers stepped forward. "We're sorry, Harold. We're on a quest to find the treasure of the Misty Mountains. Could you help us?" Harold's spine softened at the sincerity in Whiskers' voice. "Only if you answer my riddle," he declared. "What has roots as nobody sees, is taller than trees, up, up it goes, and yet it never grows?" The friends huddled together. Sammy chirped, "I think it's a mountain." Whiskers beamed and relayed the answer. Harold grinned, "Correct. You may pass. But be careful, the mountains are full of surprises." As dawn began to break, they reached the base of the Misty Mountains. The magical map in Ella's satchel began to glow, revealing a hidden path that spiraled up to the peak. Along the way, they encountered shimmering butterflies that lit their path and glowing flowers that sang lullabies in the wind. Finally, they reached the summit, where a gleaming chest rested on a bed of stardust. Inside was a single golden star that pulsed with a warm, gentle light. As the friends stood in awe, a deep voice echoed, "You have shown courage, wisdom, and kindness. Make your wish, but choose wisely." The friends huddled once more. Benny suggested a meadow where they could play forever. Penny thought of endless knowledge. Sammy wanted a song to unite all creatures. Ella dreamed of a forest filled with joy. But Whiskers, with his nose twitching thoughtfully, said, "I think we should wish for something that helps everyone. Let's wish for a world where all creatures can live in harmony." The friends agreed, and together, they made their wish.
Once upon a time, in a hidden corner of the world, there lay the enchanted forest of Whistlewood. This was no ordinary forest, it was alive with magic. Trees whispered secrets to each other, streams giggled as they tumbled over rocks, and the wind carried melodies that seemed to hum with life. In the heart of this mystical forest lived a community of animals, each with a unique talent gifted by the forest's magic. There was Oliver the owl, who could see visions of the future in his dreams, Bella the fox, whose tail left trails of shimmering light wherever she ran. Mia the squirrel, who could craft anything from fallen leaves and twigs, and Hugo the bear, whose voice could make the tallest trees sway as though dancing. One sunny morning, as the animals of Whistlewood gathered by the crystal pond to celebrate the first day of spring, a strange fog began to roll in. It was thick and silver, unlike anything they had ever seen. It covered the forest floor, muffling the cheerful sounds of birds and streams. The trees' whispers grew hushed, and an uneasy silence settled over the forest. The oldest and wisest tree in Whistlewood, Grandmother Willow, creaked to life. Her voice, deep and ancient, echoed through the fog. "The heartstone of Whistlewood is in danger. Without its light, the forest's magic will fade, and all will be lost." The animals gasped. The heartstone was the source of the forest's enchantment, a radiant gem hidden deep in the forest's heart. If it dimmed, Whistlewood would wither and die. "Who has the courage to save it?" Grandmother Willow asked. Oliver, Bella, Mia, and Hugo stepped forward together. "We will," they said in unison. The friends set off, guided by Oliver's visions. "I saw a shadowy figure near the heartstone," he explained. Their first challenge came when they reached the whispering thicket, a maze of vines and brambles that shifted and grew taller as they moved. Mia scampered up a tree for a better view. "The vines are alive," she called down. "They're moving to trap us." Bella grinned. "Leave it to me." She dashed through the maze, her glowing tail leaving a sparkling path for the others to follow. The vines quivered and hesitated, enchanted by the light, and the friends escaped the thicket. As they ventured deeper into the forest, the fog thickened. Oliver's visions became clouded, and even Bella's light seemed dimmer. They began to hear whispers, not the kind voices of the trees, but cold, eerie murmurs that filled them with doubt. What if we fail? Hugo rumbled. Mia placed a tiny paw on his massive one. We can't let fear stop us. Whistlewood is counting on us. Encouraged, they pressed on until they reached the forest's heart. There, they found the Heartstone, its once brilliant glow reduced to a faint flicker. A dark figure loomed nearby, cloaked in shadows. It was the Fog Weaver, a spirit who fed on light and hope. You cannot defeat me, the Fog Weaver hissed. The forest's magic is mine now. But the friends stood firm. Hugo's deep voice rumbled with a song that made the trees sway in part, letting sunlight pierce through the fog. Mia used her nimble paws to craft a mirror from the shards of an old crystal, reflecting the light onto the Heartstone.
And her family struggled to survive in harsh conditions, living off meager earnings from Clara's weaving and Ellie's part-time work collecting firewood. Ellie dreams of a better life for her family and is inspired by her late father's advice. Every snowflake starts as a speck, but together, they can blanket the world in beauty. Ellie discovers an old journal hidden in their cabin with plans for an intricate snow-powered machine her father once dreamed of building, a device that could harness the melting snow to provide warmth and energy to their home. Determined, Ellie works secretly on the machine, gathering materials from the village junkyard and the forest, often braving blizzards. The villagers ridicule Ellie, calling her dream impossible. A major setback occurs when a critical piece of the machine breaks, leaving Ellie heartbroken and questioning her abilities. Little Sam reminds her of their father's words, saying, "Snowflakes are strongest when they stick together." Inspired, Ellie involves the villagers, who reluctantly pitch in after seeing her determination. Together, they finish the machine just as a massive snowstorm hits, cutting off the village's power supply. The snow-powered machine works, providing heat and light to not only Ellie's home, but the entire village. The villagers realize the importance of community and innovation, celebrating Ellie as a hero. With newfound confidence, Ellie inspires others to dream big, and her family finally escapes the cycle of poverty. Their cabin becomes a workshop where Ellie designs more inventions, bringing hope to the entire village.